What's going on, everyone? It's Jacob.
And Hannah.
Back here with another episode of Commerce Connects. Today, we have Jaron Bell. Jaron,
That's me.
tell us a little bit about what you do.
That's a broad spectrum. I hope you got enough tape. But, man, I've been in the country music business for a long time and then did that forever. And then as COVID happened, we got into sales and marketing and some I'll be straightforward with you. I hate the word influencer.
Yes.
It is a big no-no
agree.
for me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I guess technically I would be because I got a couple brand deals, but and then I'm a Team Jesus, man. So I just working for a church out in Brookville, Kansas, as their pastor, and just going, man, just running and gunning and having a good time. And again, first thing before we get into anything, I just want to say how grateful I am to be here with you guys today. I've seen a couple episodes, and I've been a huge fan of Hannah's for a long time, and I'm happy to be here. Yeah, so I'm almost positive that I've proposed to Hannah 3 or 4 times, and she said no. Just for everybody.
Sorry.
Okay, but no, and I'm super stoked to be here with you guys today for sure.
Thanks for hopping on with us.
Of course,
Love
man.
it.
Of course.
So, in the country music world, like, what all did you do there? Were you in a band or?
Yeah, so I think as anybody in the country music, I actually was talking about what's some of the worst band names I've ever been in. It was a long list, but no, I sang in choir as a high school student, and that kind of became the thing. And I'll be honest with you, I was not the popular kid. I looked like that chubby kid from the Goonies my entire life. Shocker, still there. But music became a thing that it was my ability to stand out. I've been very blessed. God has blessed me with a little bit of vocal talent, and I'm super grateful to him for that. And I just used it. I found that that's how I could get people to like me. Yeah. I always say that the person that you meet now is not the kid that I was in high school. It took some singing and some honky tonking, where I'm from is what we call it, to become the person that I am now. So I started singing and signed a record deal when I was 19ish, 20.
Wow.
Awesome.
Up in Fort Worth, Nash Records. I'm positive they're not in business anymore. But yeah, so man, it was just always music, man. It was something that it was a way that I could communicate, man. Music has always just been my oxygen, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's always been the way that I communicated well, for sure.
That's awesome. What band are you currently in?
So technically I'm just a solo artist.
Oh, okay.
So it's just the big guy. Yeah, the big guy. So
Okay.
Which would be a good name for a band if you think about it.
Actually, yeah. I like
you,
that.
you and I could start a band and call it Big and Tall.
There we go.
I'm gonna be the tall one though. All right.
Hey, I'll definitely be the big one.
My man.
There we go. So, this weekend, or recently, you've performed with some people. Who was that?
Oh yeah. So we just got off the road with my buddy Logan Mize, which was awesome. Logan's a Kansas guy. I think he lives Andale. I think that's what it's called, right outside of Wichita somewhere.
He's from around here for sure.
He's awesome, man. We've been out with some other bands, the Eli Young Band, Casey Donahue. We did a show with Parker McCollum last year, 2 of those, and they're great. And I tell you what, Logan is just awesome. He is the same guy that you see making, pretending to be a weatherman, being goofy, promoting his shows. That's who that dude is. And he's awesome, and so he's always been very gracious to me, and putting us out on the road with his road manager Cam has been really cool to me and my team, and it's been great, man. Yeah,
Awesome.
It's been good. It's been a good run the last few months, I guess.
I love that. That's awesome. I love seeing I guess Kansas, some local guy, like people doing great things like him, and then seeing you come in and be with all these amazing people. It's awesome because I've known you for a little bit now. So,
Yeah, we've known each other before it happened.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So-
before it happened,
Yeah.
I think I probably met you. I've been in Kansas for 7 years. I
Yeah.
probably met you a year after I got here.
I think it
So
was
it's been a
right.
minute.
Yeah, it's been right after you got here. So it's really cool to see you being able to just perform with some amazing people because you have an amazing talent. So it's awesome. It's awesome seeing what you do.
Well, one of us was a globetrotter, and it wasn't me. I can't even look at a ball and make it bounce.
I can't even sing a lick of a note. So hey,
Amen. Maybe we should start a band.
Yeah, there
let's
you go.
go. I can
Hannah
play
just
a little
spins a
guitar.
ball the whole time.
That's what. Yeah, I play and sing, and she just goes. Ah.
Yeah.
I love it. That's awesome.
That'd be great. So we were talking a little bit earlier, and you were mentioning how you've been on the charts recently.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
what song is that, and where's it at right now?
Yeah, so obviously I have music on Spotify and Apple Music and everywhere there. It's just under Jaron Bell. And but yeah, we have a song called Adios that we released 2 weeks ago. And in this first week of charting, we ended up, yes, it was towards the bottom, but on the bottom or not, it was
you're on the
there.
chart. Yeah.
So it charted with the Texas Regional Radio Report and the Texas Music Chart, I guess you'd call it, Texas Red Dirt Music, and it's exciting, man. It was a blessing to big shout out to my friend Jeff Smith over at Forest Jack Promotions, who is my radio promoter and does all my radio stuff, and has got it out there, man. So it's been interesting. It is not it is. I didn't think it would happen the way it's happened, but then it kind of just we literally had a conversation where we said, man, maybe we should put a song out, and we did, and here
That's
we go.
Awesome.
So
That's awesome.
It's funny how it worked like that.
Yeah, getting on really any charts, I think, in the music industry. I mean, that's a feat, because that's awesome. I'm definitely gonna have to take a listen. I don't think I'm a bad friend because I haven't heard it yet.
Well, me neither. So that's fine. That's fine.
I'm definitely gonna blast it out. So.
No, yeah, for sure. Check it out. And I've got some. We're working on some new stuff and some. Yeah, so I'm hoping to put out my first Christian record at the end of the year, and I hate that term too because I hate it's not just Christian music. It's just I've changed, so it's just a little different for your boy. You know?
Yeah. And so being kind of around the social media, obviously world right now, how is that different with putting out music now than let's say 5-10 years ago with putting out music? What do you think has kind of helped and changed for you?
I don't know how people did it. I gotta be honest with you. Like you look at these guys that were, the guys that I looked up to, when I was, in my early 20s, which seems like a long time ago. The Pat Greens of the world and the Wade Bowens of the world, and it's crazy to me that you can reach the kind of people that you have. And I will tell you, I did not believe in the TikTok music guy, right?
Yeah.
And then I think the most followers I had ever had was I had about 5,000, and I was like, woohoo! And I just kept rocking with those, with those 5 or those 4 in the box that I got,
Yeah.
And I'm sure some of them weren't real people; they had to not be, but because they never said hi. That's all I'm saying.
They never said.
But TikTok, man, TikTok changed a lot for me. I started posting on TikTok and just goofy stuff, just ridiculous things, to be honest with you. And I think that thing popped up. I think right now we're at almost 25,000.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And we've done over 1 million views on TikTok up to date over the last year and a half. And it's changed a lot. It's changed the way, the ability for me to get music out. Before I would put a song out and I would get, 300, 400, 500 streams, and it's like, that's awesome, when it first comes out. And now it's like, it does 1,000 the first day.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay. And again, I'm an extremely small artist. Let's be clear. But, not technically, but, sorry, physical humor, folks. Bam. But it's changed, man. It's changed the ability for things to, and good and bad, because there's some people that have put it out that just made it that probably didn't deserve to do that. But you know what? I love it, man. I think it's awesome. I think I am pretty locked in with Facebook and with the TikTok kind of stuff, and trends crack me up. It is one of my favorite things to do is to watch trends go, and you can just tell once you know this business long enough, you can just see what artists or what people have it's like, oh, all right, yeah, you guys going to have a shot here.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah, and that's one thing. Like watching, was it Warren Zeiders?
Yeah,
like he was one of the first people that I saw like just go from nothing to something seemingly overnight, just due to the virality of like his what was it? Him in the stairwell.
Like going to ride the bike.
Yeah, dude, I like his stuff. I actually got to meet him at a festival. I met him.
Cool.
And he was awesome, super genuine, real nice guy. And I got to be honest with you, I started out as a hater because like the first 2 songs, it's like, wait a minute, that's the same song. It's just got a different word.
Yeah.
But you know what, man? I have so much respect for people that find their niche and do it. And guys like, man, you heard this Bailey Zimmerman cat? You're talking about a guy that 2 years ago was paving concrete as much of a frat boy guy as you could be and put one video out, and the one video blew up enough that it really started changing things, and he did a couple more, ends up with a record deal, and now he's one of the top. He's on every big national touring country tour in the country. And so it happens. So, So I don't know how that happens. I don't know how you go that viral, but if somebody knows, please call me. I'd be happy to do whatever that is. But so it's awesome, man. It's awesome to see how, social media has just changed the landscape of, I think it changed, and I think it's changed the landscape of how everyone does business, not just music, just in general, small businesses and everybody. I think that's why we have this conversation sometimes that small businesses are not growing as other things like that are. It's like, well, if you would take 5 seconds and do the deal, you know, learn the game just a little bit, and then it would happen for you, you know?
Yeah. So. Well, and that's a lot of the conversations we have on here is like, if the small businesses, like you said, would just take the time and do a few of these things, they, you have the potential to blow up and grow.
I think one of the things that blows my mind the most is as small business owners, and I know a lot.
Yeah.
But we will go out. If you watch national, if you're watching football or you're watching something else other than seeing Taylor Swift all the time, every ad that you come across it's got two things. It's got humor base and it's got some sort of redirecting call to action call. Everything that's out there. And so what cracks me up is as a small business owner, you'll watch it and you'll be like, I've literally had a conversation with a small business owner that was like, man, did you see that one ad with I'll just say the Geico Gecko? Man, that was hilarious. And then turn around and 2 seconds later be like, well, I don't want to do something too funny because I want people to take me serious. Yeah. So what I find is business owners, they consume content and consume mass media with humor and things like that, and then never put it into action within their own business. If it works for the masses, then it will probably work for you. So now again, not to get on my soapbox, but
why do you think that is? So do you think people just are scared to do it?
Yeah, I think the number one thing when it comes to social media marketing is a complete lack of knowledge.
Yeah.
I don't think it's because for anyone that's ever had a marketing company or a social media brand management company, no one has ever said, I don't want to grow. That's not what I want to do. They all want to grow, but have no idea how to do it. And the way to do it is to step outside your comfort zone and do what the market says to do. But for most people, it's, well, I've been doing this for 22 years or I've been doing this for 15 years and I can see that that's working, but I don't know if it'll work for me. So I think a lot of it comes down to taking a chance to try.
Yeah, kind of betting on yourself and just doing it.
Well,
it's
out of your comfort zone.
It's not even betting on yourself. I can tell you that right now, for every small business in small town America, if you spent $100 that you spent on plastic cups and forks on a targeted social media ad on Facebook, it could change your business
100%.
And they just don't know what to do.
Yeah, and that's one thing, like noticing. I have a company here in town that I work with very closely, and they were very much just like boost post, boost post, boost post. And I was just like, okay, great. I see that you've spent, call it $10,000 on this boost post, and you've gotten like $4 a link click.
Right.
Ooh,
and I was like, give me $100 and let me show you what I can get.
Yeah.
And we're averaging 10 cents a link click on relatively the same thing.
Yeah.
And they're just like, oh, wow, we're busy now. Like the owner now is in the kitchen cooking.
Right.
And I'm just like, see, exactly. Like the boost post world, it hooks people because it will perform well for a little bit.
Yeah.
But then it's just like, oh, yeah, no. Once they realize like you're hooked, they're just going to lower your numbers.
Well, I have a conversation with every so obviously I have some social media clients that I've been working with, and most of them are restaurant type stuff. And I tell every client, I think for my personal brand, I actually checked today. So I've been waiting for, this post gets to go up tonight, but I've done 9 million views on my personal brand in 2024.
Oh, shit.
So I hit 9 million views this year. Now again, I've had 4 or 5 things go bananas, but so I tell clients and I say, listen, if you want to get a bunch of views to feel better, like that's what you want to accomplish, I can make that happen for you.
Yeah.
If you just want to feel like, look at this post we did, it did 10,000 views in a rural market. We can do that. We can make that happen, but that's not gonna, that doesn't change your business.
Yeah.
It doesn't
It won't
change.
translate
It makes you look cool for a little bit, but does it bring in money?
Yeah. And I think but I think, and again, not to rag on social media companies, I think that's a conversation at times that we don't have with our clients. We need to have a conversation that's like, listen, what's more important to you? Obviously, you want to grow.
Yeah.
But my question is if I grow you by 10 clients a month and it doesn't look fancy and sassy on Facebook, are you going to be upset that, yes, you got those 10 clients, but my Facebook videos only did 2,000 views?
Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, then do you want to have 20,000 views and 8 new clients?
Yeah.
So I think that's a conversation that you got to have.
Well, and that's like with us on the podcast page. We did like 90,000 impressions last month, or within like the last 30 days or
I
whatever.
think it was over 100.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually.
And we didn't gain no followers, which I was just like, okay, like to a normal client, if you show them like, oh, we got you 100,000 impressions, they're gonna be like, oh, amazing.
Right.
And then I look at it and I'm like, we didn't really gain any followers from this. It's like our videos did well, but did it translate? No. And I had a conversation with an event company that I do a lot of work with, and I'm like, he's always just, we've gotten off the basis of like going and looking at views and looking at the shares. Yeah. Like if your shares look great, then you know you're doing something. And that's
well, because you can find a litany, big word for the day. Yeah. You can find a litany of, I'm probably not even using it right.
I was like, give me a definition and origin of word.
Yeah, don't ask me to spell it because we're in trouble. But anyways, you can look all over and you can see videos. I can show you videos right now that have 300,000 views and 47 shares.
Yeah.
So it's just not, it's not real life. It's make-believe land, which is fine because that's what social media is. It's what it is. It's make-believe land, which is okay. But, I don't know. I think that, the number one thing, now I feel like we're at just a complete marketing podcast. Right.
Hey, there we go. That's what we like.
But I think that's a conversation that you have to have with clients. The conversations of, I think reality of expectation matters.
Yeah.
I think a real conversation of, hey, what do you really want to happen? If I did this, how would you feel?
Yeah.
What if we did this? How would you feel?
Yeah.
And I would say I am, now again, selfish plug, but I think the word I hate, influencer marketing, I think it is the most underutilized piece of marketing in smaller markets.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now. And again, I'm not calling Wichita a small market, but compared to Fort Worth where I'm from, it's a small market. And like the fact that you can bring, there are people like Logan, who obviously does a lot more than myself. For example, Logan is about to do the Wind Surge Stadium here, right? And there will be a ton of people there and a ton of things. The fact that clients of any business kind in Wichita have not called that guy and said, hey, I will give you $1,200 to come spend the day with us and whatever it looks like, whatever that looks like.
Yeah.
It blows my mind because I don't care. Businesses will have 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 followers on their page, and everything they post gets 9 likes.
Yeah.
Whereas I can make a post on my Facebook and it does 112, likes and 20, 30 shares and all that. So why wouldn't you bring in? And I'm not even talking about myself. Just I just think it's very underutilized. I think people could really, and again, but that comes with not knowing. Fort Worth, Kansas City, that's what they do.
They do. Yeah. And we've said that many times here that Wichita is behind on the influencer market because he's a perfect example. Like, why aren't any of these businesses around here, making deals with this guy, you know?
Well, and I for example, I was very blessed to play the cotillion a few years ago, and I have multiple times. They've been great to me. But we played the cotillion with the Eli Young band and sold out. And I even thought to myself in that moment, I reached out to a pizza place in McPherson, Kansas, that had me come out and shoot a little video for them, and it didn't pay a ton. But it's like, I don't know how I just don't know why they don't do that here. And because the other thing is all mass media has famous people talking about their products.
Yes.
When you watch a commercial, you see there's a reason I guarantee you Johnny Depp does not care about Dior, and his guitar and his wolves running around. He doesn't care about that. But the reality is people know who that is. But why could you not do that in your market, in a rural market?
Yeah. And that's the one thing I will say with like restaurants. Lately, I'm glad they are picking up on like the Jack Stacks, the Wichita by EB. Like they are picking up on that trend, but it's still not reaching outside of that market because it's like obviously Jack Stacks is going to go try this food thing and he will tell you how it is. But I think hitting a different market like Logan or like I didn't
even athletes. I mean, we have a D1 school here.
And it's like you're not paying your like the new shoe stores that are always opening up or barber shops. It's like
and how in a world where the NCAA has come out and said, "Hey, we'll let you pay them," And how are you a shoe store or a cheese pizza place or a whatever, and you don't get somebody that's the point guard for the Wichita State Shockers in your place, and you give them shoes and a couple $100 and tell them to come through? How does that not happen?
Exactly.
It doesn't even. It literally does not make sense.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
And that's where it just takes, I feel like, people having, the conversation like this, allowing people to listen, and maybe some small businesses or just business around here will be like, okay, wait. Yeah. That's an idea.
So again, if you'd like to spend some money, call me.
Right, yeah. Well, and going into that, because you, so you run the page, you run a page in Salina, probably, I would like to say the biggest probably social media page in Salina, right?
It's as far as viewership and it's probably there. As humbly as possible. And big shout out to my friends at Salina 311 for making that a possibility for me. Shout out to my friend Josh who brought me in on that. And I'll be honest with you. Forgive me, the name slips my mind, but is it Wichita Eats? What is it?
Wichita by EB.
Yes, and so it does like food reviews and stuff like that, right?
Well, Jack Stacks. He's the one that does them in the cars and whatnot.
So there was a Facebook group in Salina that had people in there, and I had saw something in Wichita. I think it was probably the Jack Stacks thing.
Jack Stacks, yeah.
I think so because they were doing food reviews, and I thought to myself, well, why couldn't I just go to restaurants in Salina? I live here. I'm eating anyway. Obviously, I'm having something to eat. Why can't I just give my experience? And right away, it just over and over and over, and it just kind of worked. And it's up over 20,000 members now in that regional kind of market around Salina, within probably 100 miles of Salina, I think. And it's been cool. It's been a fun experience, and it's been cool. And the community in Salina has been awesome. And I will tell you, from somebody, for anybody out there that's trying to break into a small market like that, it's, I'm from Texas, so I'm not from here. I'm not from Salina. So the fact that I was able to, the only thing that really broke me into the market was doing things like that. I saw a drastic difference in people walking up to me and saying, and I've been playing music for 10 years, and I've had a couple videos do over 4 million views, and I felt like awesome, when that happens, but nobody noticed, in my local market because it's national. Yeah. But now I can't tell you how many times a week that I walk around and somebody goes, "Hey, you do that scoop thing, don't you do that?" And I'm like, yeah, that is. So finding ways like that to, and I'll tell you, food's easy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Food is a way to get people to pay attention. I don't know why. It works.
Yeah.
And people love them and hate them. They either love something or hate something, but either way,
it's
they're
polarizing.
talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's polarizing. That's the word.
Yeah.
That's the word.
Big word for you.
Yeah, no, the food market, which we do a lot of marketing for events and whatnot, and we can do like a sneaker fest, and it'll do all right. But then as soon as we bring up Taco Fest, we are getting thousands of tickets, and we're just like, cool. So people like food events, and I even seen like Jack Stack stuff like that. It's like even EB.
Yeah, we talk about
Have you heard of this guy? Have you heard of this guy in Texas, Meat Church? Have you heard of this guy?
I ain't heard of him.
Dude, first of all, his videos are incredible. He's like, maybe it's just the fact that I'm now in my 30s. Apparently, when you hit 30, two things happen. One, you start thinking about mortality and smoking meat. Apparently, that's what happens. But this dude is like, he started making videos, and I challenge you to look at it. It's cool because he started doing barbecue tips, and now he's just showing off recipes. And like now, he just signed as the official pitmaster of the Dallas Cowboys, and he's like doing all these things.
That's wild.
And it's literally just from food because it was so polarizing. It just happened for him.
That's awesome. That just kind of shows you really, if you love something, like that, like you can honestly turn that into a career with social media. Yeah. And it just pops off.
Well, because I found, I've been very blessed to have a couple brand deals, and my first national brand deal that I have is from a company called Dive Bar Nutrition. So yeah, a nutrition company. So obviously, to this day I still think they're using me as a before and after picture, but we just hadn't got to the after. You know what I'm saying? But and it's funny but it all reached out because of videos that went viral for me.
Yeah.
And also for creators, I have been doing. This is me. This is my guitar. This is me singing. The first video that I had that went viral was a video of me sitting in my car, and there's a video from. I got to give a huge shout out to. Oh my gosh, just forgot what it was. Anyway, there's a golf course in Nashville, Tennessee, and they posted a video of whatever you shoot as your score that you can pay per penny per shot for your drink. And so the guy's like, "Here's 71 cents. All right, well, that'll be 71 cents for your beer. You shot a 71. And the video cuts to me as a stitch, and I just go, listen, I'm not going to lie to you. $1.15 is a great price on a beer, but I'm having a hard day. I don't want to talk about it. And so it's like joking about my score. And it has nothing to do with music. It has nothing to do with me. And I posted it, and it was one of those things where it I think in 3 or 4 hours, it was like, man, this thing's got 6,000 views. That's awesome. Yeah. That's cool. For a creator my size, I was like, all right. Go. It's happening. I'm making it, and then the next morning I woke up and it was at 72,000. And then by 9 a.m. it was at 120. And then it was and then in I think it hit 2.6 million views in 72 hours.
Wow.
And so, but it was, and I still don't know how it happened. I still don't know what happened. And then, but it was just because I was willing to do something different.
Yeah.
I was willing to make a golf joke. Newsflash, I'm a terrible golfer. But I've had 5 or 6 videos that have done over 200,000 views. That's me joking about golfing or messing with Dave. My favorite one that I do is messing with Dave Ramsey. Because I think he did one that he said. He said, I've met people that made $36,000 a year, and I met people that make $300,000 a year. And I stitched to me, and I said, I met a guy one time that had a wooden foot. It makes no sense. It don't make no sense. And it did 3 million views on Instagram.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
But also it was figuring out trends, man.
Yeah.
Just goofy stuff like that.
Yeah.
And again, it's not for everybody. There's not everybody's trying to do that, and maybe I'm underselling it a little bit that it's worked for me, but I don't know, it's crazy how it goes all the way back to the question you asked about releasing music on social media. I've never I always tell people I've been doing all these comedy shows lately, and it's like, man, if I'd have known y'all wanted to hear me tell jokes and not sing, I'd have done it 10 years ago. But I didn't know. I didn't even think I was that funny, But here we are. So I don't know.
So you're dipping into comedy now too?
Yeah, man. We've done a that's
You did a tour kind of thing, right?
yeah, man. We've been out.
Okay.
We just played Temple Live here in Wichita with Uncle Laser. I don't know if you've
yes,
Yeah.
dude. Terrifying human being to be around. Absolutely terrifying. Hey, listen. There's some people even Jesus don't want to hang around, you know. and I love me some Jesus, but Uncle Laser scares him, you know. And Laser, I love you if you see this. I love you. But yeah, man, it's been awesome, and so that's kind of the direction that my content's kind of going. You know,
awesome.
Obviously, my faith changed a few years ago. You know, I accepted Jesus, and it's changed everything about me, man. And with that, it's not easy to open for a guy like Uncle Laser when you don't say the kind of things that he does. But you know, I think it's just cool, man. And so I think moving forward for me, as far as content goes, it's faith based, not even faith. That's not the right way to put it. I'm at a different place in my life, and so being able to tell jokes and play I play songs that are parody kind of stuff, and it's just been fun, man. It's been a fun ride on who knows? I don't know where we're going. We're just riding, we're just rolling.
Yeah.
I love that because it seems like you're stepping into like exactly like who you are, who you want to be, and are just like happy and excited with what you're doing.
Yeah, and it's so funny that you say that, because it came down to one of those things, and I just want to point out we've made it this far on the podcast, and I haven't said a cuss word, which is a big deal. It's a big deal. It's a big deal for me. But it's when your faith kind of changes and things happen. I'll be honest with you. I've noticed some people in my life that they're not here anymore. Some of the guys that were the homies that came out to some shows and did some things, not around anymore. They don't want to hear some of the things that I got to say now. But you know what? It's so funny that I've had so many people that have said that to me. That have said things like, "Man, you feel like you're being your authentic self, or this or that." And I think to myself, I was being me the whole time. Y'all just weren't listening, you know. But I just, again, I won't sit here on your podcast, and I won't be preachy. I promise I won't do that. But man, that doggone Jesus got a hold of me, man. And it's a whole different thing when you realize that that's a real thing, and you get a spiritual experience, and it kind of happens for you. I whether you're an enemy or my best friend, I pray with everything that I am that somebody gets that. Somebody gets that moment where it's, there's no questioning it.
Yeah.
And for me, it happened in Wichita. I don't know I've never told this story publicly. You'll be the first time I've ever told this in public. But I played the Cotillion here, sold out, unbelievable, wonderful night. Me, Stoney LaRue, I think Austin Meade was on the show, and I'm playing, and it's a great feeling to be in that. What a full arena feels like. It's a different out of body experience.
Amazing.
And I had this experience where I was playing, and I was, when you're on, you're on. When you're on, and you know that you're on, and you have some ability, whether it's basketball or marketing, even you're creating content or performing live. For me, when you're on, you feel it in the ethos, like and for me, I took a step back from my microphone, and it felt like every part of my body felt like when your foot falls asleep, And of course, my first thought was diabetes,
having a stroke.
Yeah, great. This is how I go out. But literally, man, I had this overwhelming feeling. And again, I've never heard the audible voice of God. If you have, I love that for you.
Yeah.
But that's never happened for me. He's never said Jaron, which would scare me to death. I'll be honest with you. But I had this overwhelming feeling that this isn't what your gifts are for. Like, and it wasn't even, like, it was just there. You ever had something on your mind and you can't get rid of it?
Yeah.
Like, it was like on a loop.
Yep.
Like, this is not what you're supposed to be doing. This is not it. This is not it. And it wouldn't stop. And so I ended a song early because it was bothering me so bad. And that was the moment that I realized that, man, I'm being, in the Jesus business, they call that the call, But I knew that something was happening, man. I just knew it. And I took some time, and I got married. My wife's a pastor, so
Oh, that's awesome.
oh, people ask me all the time,
Yeah.
how did you end up as a car salesman, comedian to marry a pastor? I always say that God is good and I'm lucky, and she says that God tests all of us. You know, she's been, I'm putting her through the ringer. There's no doubt about it. But you know, man, it's just and not to get off topic, but you know, it's incredible, man. It's incredible how. It's a funny thing that I've been trying to play music for 10 years, 12 years. I mean, and for people that know me, like Hannah, like I've been working hard for a long time, like on the road, consistently going. I don't stop. And it's all kind of worked. I've had peaks and valleys. Yeah. But dude, I again, not to sound like that guy, but I said, hey, old Carrie Underwood, Jesus take the wheel on this deal, you know? And when my faith changed, dude, I think I accepted, not this last year, but the year before, in November, so it'd be November of 2022, I made that confession that this is where I wanted to go. A month and a half later, the golf video went viral.
It's amazing how stuff like that works.
And I'm not saying that, because I don't think God cares about my Instagram followers. I don't think he cares. But like, there's something to be said about the way it's affected my life and the way my life has changed, and that my outlook and what I create has kind of landed a little bit. I don't know.
Well, because there has a lot to do when you get in that, whether it's with your faith or just that positive mindset too, because that's all connected. And then positive things like that, and then positive stuff starts happening for you. And then you just get into these cycles of great things. And that's kind of how we're supposed to live life, is when we find our passion, our purpose, stuff starts happening and great things start happening.
Oh man, that's so true. And it's I don't even like to say it's so true, because it's beyond true. Yeah. I mean, even not to go that way, but even in the Bible it says that grapes don't grow in a thorn bush. So, basically when you're doing good things, and guess what? I understand that if you don't have certain beliefs, and it's okay that you don't believe the things that I believe, but also, what I know that if you don't believe, God hasn't stopped believing in you. And so when you start putting out positive things and you start not trying to chase, I've chased people my whole life on social media, trying to do what this guy does or trying to do what that guy does. But when you do that positivity, and when you're doing good for other people, man, it's undeniable. It's undeniable. Crazy.
Yeah, I love it.
That's one thing, like seeing when people are passionate and they do, like, you hear a lot about as soon as I accepted Christ or whatever they're believing in, that's when things started changing, and that's when it got better. I mean, there's been handfuls of people that I've been friends with where it's like Ian with the food truck. Like, he accepted Christ, and all of a sudden it's like he gets this random whim to stop selling cookies because they had a cookie food truck. Then he started a smash burger food truck, and then boom, now it's massive. It's everywhere.
What's that called?
Smash Bros.
Dude, let me tell you about Smash Bros.
Yeah, did you try Smash Bros?
Listen, Smash Bros came to Salina.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and so I swung through, and I incognito, I rolled through, and I just grabbed some and left. Didn't say nothing. And unfortunately, I took some pictures. I haven't posted it yet. Dude, it was awesome. And it was like, so big shout out to Smash Bros. You ever want to come to Salina, call me. I hook you up. I can get you the spot. But it was awesome, dude. And it's so funny that you say that, because what I always say is, when people have a conversation with me, whether what you believe or what you don't believe, there are so many times, like you just said it, you're like, who doesn't know somebody that said, I accepted Jesus, things went well?
It's
maybe that preaches itself.
Because he was the same way. He was a rap artist or hip hop pop artist, then fully swung to the like Christian rap, Christian hip hop type of realm, and then in that same transition came the Smash Bros truck.
Dude.
And when he told me that idea, I was like, Wagyu smash burgers, $15, 2 options, dude, it's gonna kill.
Crushed.
And then I went to their very first day and filmed content for them and everything, and I was just like, oh.
Yeah, and they're doing a good job. And I don't know if you're still with them, but I could tell you that they're doing a good job because I usually have in the state. I usually kind of have my thumb on the pulse a little bit.
Yeah,
and I knew what it was as soon as you said it. I knew exactly what you were talking about, and it was awesome. And so I love it, man. I truly think that you can listen. It's one thing. I spent my whole life talking about my passion. I'm talking about how music was my passion. Well, then I had a realization that music is what myself wanted. I'd love to be a Christian rapper, but I am extremely Caucasian. I am the most. I could not rap if I tried. But, finding my purpose through my time talking with Jesus, I figured out that maybe, and then literally doors start opening. I figured out, hey, this golf thing went funny. This Dave Ramsey thing went funny. And I didn't curse. I didn't, because it's so easy to get a cheap laugh with a bad word.
Yeah.
It's easy.
Yeah.
It's easy. You drop an F word and people go, ha ha. It's what they do. It's what we're conditioned to do.
Yeah.
So to be able to have some success, and I would say that's what I'm having. I'm trying my best, but it's crazy, man. And I love that story. That's so cool. And the fact that you just told me about, I'm gonna have to reach out to them.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make you call somebody. But that's awesome.
No,
dude.
definitely. I say comedy wise, what all have you done like locally? I know we produce a podcast here called Running the Light, and it's a couple comedians, and I was wondering if you ever performed with any of them, like Eric Zayas or Frankie the Miracle. They were just in Salina not too long ago.
I met. I know who those guys are.
Yeah.
I know who those guys are. Yeah. Eric and I have never done a show together.
Okay.
I met Frankie Miracle at. He actually sat front row at that Uncle Laser show that I was at. So he was there. So I met him there. Listen,
dude,
look, they're funny and they're hilarious.
They get rowdy.
But here's the deal. Like, here's the thing that I learned. If we're going to talk about comedy for a second.
Yeah.
Hey, brother, comedians don't like me.
Yeah.
It's just a thing. Dude, so in the music business where I'm from, I always tell people I'm like this all the time. She'll tell you,
Yep.
I'm pretty high energy. You wouldn't think, right? Where I don't know where it comes from, but in the music world, again, not to sound like I'm bragging, but man, I've played with everybody, all the big Texas Red Dirt guys, the Blake Sheltons, and the thing. I've done the deal, and like it's like accepting, and it's all that. Comedy don't work like that.
Yeah, that's what they say.
They don't like each other, and it's hard for me because. Again, I have so much respect for those guys, but it's like, I will tell you that I have a well-known person that's from Wichita that told me, I just kind of casually reached out and was like, hey man, I would assume that with the numbers that I do and the tickets that I'm able to move that, hey man, hey, if you ever want to do a show or something, I'd love to get on it. And their exact term to me was, man, if you do open mics for 3 to 4 years, maybe you'll have the opportunity to be an opening act. And and I literally was like, wait a minute, hold on. So I've been on the road since I was 19 performing in front of people, and you think that what?
Need to do 3 years of open mics?
No.
Yeah.
No. The comedy scene is very trials and tribulations.
Now, again, that's just my story, but because I've been on the road for 10 years.
Yeah.
Open mics matter. It's how young comedians do that.
Yeah.
But also, we could also just have I don't know, man. Yeah. It's one of the things that I get wound up about really bad because I can tell you right now that I've had multiple Wichita comedians come out and do a show with me somewhere, open up and be on one of my shows. And I have not been on anybody's because I don't know. But yeah, man, I just think that it's just a different world. Yeah. It's a different world. And, hey, God bless them, man. They're running their own race. But I heard, it might have been the Two Bears, One Cave. It might have been Tom and Bert talking about it. And what I loved is they said, there's enough people in the world for everybody to be able to do what they do. Me telling a joke that is not your joke is not going to make people hate you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or me showing up at your show and doing well doesn't mean you suck.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know, man. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I talk to comedians that I know from like Kansas City and some other places, Fort Worth. Shout out to my boy Chad Prather, big political cowboy guy. Shout out to boy Chad because he's got 3 million followers and talks to me like that's my boy, you know.
Yeah.
And gives me advice, but he comes from a different world like me. He's not from the comedy open mic slinging, and I respect those dudes, man.
Yeah.
I do. I respect them, but. God, they do not like each other,
dude. It is.
And I'm because I can't pretend to be that petty.
Yeah.
Like I can't even pretend.
Yeah.
I can't even. I don't know, man. I got respect for them, and run your race, do your thing. We're all searching for the thing. It's hard. This is hard what we do, man. What you guys do, we know.
Yeah.
With content and all the things, it's hard.
It is.
But it just makes more sense to me that it's easier to do it with people that you get along with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like if you could band together and actually.
What?
And just like elevate each other.
Oh, dude, the amount of people when the Looney Bin closed here,
Yeah.
it blows my mind how. I mean, again, that was super sad. It sucked.
Yeah.
But it blows my mind that people like you could see people like banding together and like, oh, we wish you weren't closing. Well, where were you the last 2 years doing stuff together?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. You didn't like each other.
Yeah.
You know, you pushed each other away. You told them that they needed to be on open mics when they could fill that room.
Yeah.
You know, not to sound shady, but
Yeah.
you know, I don't know, man. But I love comedy. I love stand-up comedy, and I love just me and my guitar, and I just love it, man. There's something about making people laugh it's awesome. It's just awesome.
Did you watch the Kill Tony Madison Square Garden stuff?
Oh, dude, it is. Listen.
Get him going.
I am. Blessed are those that are sinners. I'm try not to be, but I'm a sinner myself. And one of my guilty pleasures is that Kill Tony show kills me. It kills me. It's so funny. The one, did you see the one where they had Donald Trump and Joe Biden?
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Well, and then
it's so funny.
was it night 2 of Madison Square Garden? They had that, and then the actual one at the mothership they had and isn't it Shane Gillis plays Trump? I want to say.
Yeah. He's hilarious.
Yeah,
dude. And have you ever? He was in Topeka recently. Have you ever seen this Cam Patterson?
Oh, dude. I wanted to go see Cam so bad.
I have never laughed harder in my life than when he said, "Is there anything we need to know about you?" Well, I'm not retarded, but I like rocks.
Dude.
That's one of the funniest things I've ever heard in my life.
It's got me in a chokehold. Dude. Like, for the longest time, I was like, because I genuinely feel that. Like, my big thing is like when I travel, I collect rocks. Like it's bad. It's bad. Dude, no, I have a jar in my apartment.
I love that for
and
you.
Like, I went to Alaska. I took some rocks home. I just got back from Minnesota. I brought rocks home.
I'm going to start bringing back rocks for you.
Dude, it's my little memento of like, oh yeah, this rock came from this place.
My wife always says this. My wife always says, like, if I like call somebody weird or something, if I say that's weird, my wife always says everybody's weird.
Oh yeah.
And it cracks me up the more I get to talk to people. Like things that are weird. Like for me, look,
pulls out a rock.
Pulls out a rock. Right? You imagine. Like me, when I grew up, we didn't have all the, I'm in my mid 30s, 7, whatever. But when I was a kid, dude, like Mario was it. Like Mario was it. I unrealistically have way too many like Funko Pops. Like I'm into it and like sports cards and all that. But dude, I got a Mario wallet just because I keep my, and I just keep my kid inside.
Yeah.
My favorite thing the hardest I've ever made my youngest son laugh is we pulled up to a drive-through and he was like, "Dad, ask her if she likes your wallet." And I said, "Do you like my?" I said, "Do you like my wallet?" She said, "Yeah." And she goes, "Why'd you get that?" I go, "It's a me," like that. And my son died. But like the rocks, man, it's so funny. Dude, people's little quirks crack me up.
Yeah.
That's what makes comedy good, though.
Yeah.
That's what makes comedy.
Yeah.
Being able to make jokes and oh man.
Yeah. Come on. Like Cam Patterson's the spelling bee that they had with him. and he thought he had it right, but he said in instead of an M. And he's like, I did it. And then we were all like,
no, you didn't. No.
Yeah.
But like, and I think, to me, even like, it cracks me up. Like even when I'm doing giving sermons, like I can't not be who I am. So I make jokes within my sermon. You know, my wife's a Democrat. Right? We're not gonna get into politics. But I made a joke at my sermon last weekend. I said, I don't care about your political views. God loves all of us. I don't care if you're a Republican or wrong, you know, and stuff like that. It's so funny because I don't mean that.
Yeah.
You don't mean that. I always say, guys, it's like I'm Luke Combs if you ordered him off of Temu, you know. Like, it works, right? Yeah. Tell me somebody wouldn't make a Caitlin Clark joke to you and it wouldn't crack you up.
Yeah, no, I would die laughing.
Yeah. It's like everybody.
I think it's happened before.
Caitlin Clark off a Wish. You know what I mean? I love it.
I'm going to use that.
Do it.
Yeah, I think that, and especially like more and more recently, like I've been leaning into the faith world, and like
that's awesome.
I wasn't like super far into it, and then I shoot weddings primarily. That's kind of like my main gig.
Right on.
And so I hear Catholic sermons, Methodist sermons, like all the in betweens. Like I sit through everything, but recently, like one that like I actually sat through and was just like, okay, was actually a Catholic one, which I grew up Catholic, and I was like, but this like the priest, like, he was funny, like he was making jokes the entire time. I was like, okay, this is actually like pulling it out of like the cultish feel that Catholicism can bring sometimes, and I was like, okay, like. And then recently, I just had another one. It was more of like a Christian one, but the same way. Like, they were just, it was funny. I was like, okay.
I have so much. So my children go to a private school, a Catholic private school,
Which one?
St. Mary's, and Sacred Heart and St. Mary's in Salina.
Southeast of Saline.
Hey,
so, okay.
I feel you. But you know, I will say that when it comes to things like that, again. Let's be clear for the podcast. I am not taking shots at the Catholic Church. Let's be clear.
That was me.
Yeah, they're dangerous. Like, you know, but you know, people get turned away from religion because, but 98% of the things that turn people away is tradition, not religion.
Yeah.
You know why I went to a Catholic church and enjoyed the message, and you know why I didn't want to be a Catholic? Because I'm a big boy and there's too much up and down. I don't want to get down and get back up and get back up. I just want to sit here and listen.
Yeah.
You know? But I think that's it, man. I think that it's awesome, man. I think anywhere you go that you're trying to express your faith and you're trying to find out what God has for you in your life, and what I always tell people is, for me, the big story that changed my life is we were talking about the Last Supper, and when what I love, and there's so many things in church world right now, whether it comes to this or that or who's accepted and who's not accepted and all these things. The story that I love more than anything is at the Last Supper when Jesus knows that Judas has betrayed him. He knows that he gave silver, and he knows that he has brought up that they're going to find him. You know, Judas has turned his back on him. In that moment, he could have scolded him or turned him into a frog. I don't know, you know. But in that moment, Jesus serves him. He doesn't scold him or push him away from the table. And so for me, my ministry stuff is based on the fact that if Jesus won't turn someone like that has done things like that, or anyone, if Jesus won't turn you away from his table, who am I to do so? It's not my place. It's just not, man. And again, we can believe what we want. We can believe what's a sin, what's not a sin. There's so many of those conversations that are for a deeper time. But what I do know is that in Jesus' commandments, he tells us to love your neighbor, you know, and love. My last sermon last week was love thy enemy. That's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard in today's world. But the reality is, man, so church, Catholic, Lutheran, all those things, man, all the, you know, and I'm a Methodist. I consider myself a Methodist. Okay. I'm at a Methodist church. You know, to me, it all comes down to, I love that. I love that we're talking about Jesus, by the way. Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, and I love that you're experiencing your faith, dude. That's so cool.
That's one thing, like, it gets so taboo. Like, and
people get weird about it.
Yeah. And that's one thing where, like, I used to, like, when I was younger, and nowadays I'm just like, dude, like, even if you want to boil down like every religion, to me, it's just like, be a good person.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
have good morals, be a good person.
Yeah. For me, man, here's what I'll say. Do I believe that the way to an everlasting life in heaven is through Jesus? Yes, I do. But what I also do know is that I have been preached and taught that God is graceful and God is merciful. And so for those that are in a different part of the world and they talk about different religions and different things, and also I truly believe, man, and this is my I won't mic drop moment because it's on a stand. But what I truly believe is that we serve a God that is actively seeking after us, that speaks to us in languages that we can understand. You know what I mean?
Powerful.
So for some people, in the middle of the Congo or the middle, people, evangelical Christians can get wound up about, well, no, if you have not heard the story of Jesus, he will find a way. He's going to fly planes over and drop them down. Well, but what if the first of all, the God of the heavens and the universe is so much bigger than the little box we try to put him in? It's so much bigger than that. And so do we not believe that God is big enough for those people that were, whether they're Hindus or Buddhists or in those, is it not possible that we serve a God that is big enough to speak to those people in a way that they can understand? Before Christianity was here?
Yeah.
Before... Oh man, get me wound up, dude.
That's beautiful, though. No, that's like so true, though.
We serve a God that's actively searching after us, man. Yeah. That will find you in ways. For me, it was music, right? It's a way that I can understand. So for I'm not saying that. What's the political term? Native Americans, those people that when they got here and they were worshiping the sun and the forest and the fire and these things. All I'm saying is, if in those moments, what if that's the way that God could let them interpret His presence? Yeah. What I mean,
and that's, if you think about it, that's beautiful.
Yeah, yeah. And because the answer is I don't know the answer.
Yeah, yeah.
I put my faith in Jesus. That's my lens in which all of us, every human being on the planet, in some way seeks the divine.
Yeah.
Right? And for some people, the divine for them is the absence of the divine. Yeah. The fact that there's not a God. That's what they devote themselves to.
Yeah.
But for people that didn't experience that, for people that didn't get to do that, to me, it's possible that God found them in a way that they could understand, and the way the trees moved, and the way. And I'm a big hunter, and I like to fish and do those things. If you want to experience God, man, go sit in the woods.
Yeah,
and you can understand what it's like.
Yeah,
I don't know, man. All I know is that I love that. First of all, I just love that you're bringing that up, dude. That's so cool, because for a person in your position, like you said, dude, it's taboo, man. It's taboo for me to sit here and so there's a lot of people that are going to see me that have took shots with me or had some herbal medicine with me that are going to be like, my man's talking about Jesus, but it's just a real deal, man.
Yeah.
It just found me, and I don't know I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just amazing. Yeah. It's incredible.
I love that, though.
I mean, it just shows people can change too on it.
That's it, dude.
There's so many people that I personally even know where it's just like they were atheist or agnostic or whatever the case is, and now it's like I've had those conversations with them of like, yo, this is when I have my moment. What was yours? And it's just cool hearing all that and just seeing that like it's okay to be open about conversations.
Well, and just the ability to fellowship with people in that way, having these conversations on a platform like this, like how special is that? You know?
Dude, and I love the fact that, you know what, and I'll clip, I'll blame Christians a little bit because we have made it where if you said to me, well, I don't believe in God, then I treat you differently. Yeah. But the reality is that's not what we're called to be.
Yeah.
That's not what we are.
No.
Yeah. And so in those moments, I think that we can take accountability as, who are we to judge someone else? Because this life's hard, and we all got to die, and we all got to go through this thing. So for people that maybe that's like, first of all, I won't use the word race anymore because I've never won a race ever in my life. But, we're all running the same race, And so who am I to judge someone that is just behind me on the track?
Yeah.
First of all, they got to be slow,
But they're getting there.
But they're trying. They're trying.
They're there,
And so for people that I don't know, man, I think as Christians we could do a better job of being there for people that don't get it and people that aren't there yet. And openness to the fact that God can meet people where they are. That's the thing, man. It doesn't, and guess what, man? Guess what? If you decide that that's not for you and Jesus isn't for you and you make that decision in your heart, guess what? You've made that decision, but God didn't.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
And you made that decision, but God didn't stop. God's going to keep putting things in your life. He's going to let you see this podcast. He's going to let you run into you, And God can find you in a deer stand sitting outside a smash burger truck.
Yep.
Dude,
Like it's everywhere, man.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah.
Again, I love that we're able to have a conversation like this. It's so refreshing. I'm getting kind of goosebumps.
Yeah, and
a little bit.
because it literally through all of Scripture, through no matter what translation you want to have, it is said that when multiple people talk about the Spirit of God shows up.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And also the ability and I don't want to get into it, but we have come to a place in our country that we have lost the ability to disagree with one another.
Yeah.
That's the part. Like, get into that.
Yeah.
Listen, that's my biggest thing. Is like
I don't dislike anybody. Maybe Philadelphia Eagle fans. That might be, maybe there's a special place for them. I don't like them, but I'm joking, kind of. But yeah, man.
but it's like, I mean, Whataburger versus In-N-Out.
Yeah,
It's like,
Whataburger,
that
sure.
tears people up. And I'm like, no, Whataburger's
Easy. I work for Jesus. Easy.
It works for Jesus. It's just but it's one of those things where it's like, cool, I'll let you respect that and know that Whataburger isn't the best out of them.
That's it, man. But that's it. And I can sit in a room with somebody that I can say, yeah, man, Jesus has changed my life, and I believe in this, or it doesn't even have to be religious, man. I believe in this, and then you can go, well, I don't believe that. I don't believe in Jesus. I don't believe in Whataburger. I don't believe that. Well, guess what? That's cool.
Yeah, we're still good.
Hey,
We're cool. Yeah.
Speaking of, real quick, I just had it this weekend. White Castle.
Oh, I saw that.
What's your take? What's your take?
Anything with a small burger like that scares me.
Okay.
I need more substance in my life.
There we
right?
go.
I am built like a refrigerator because I've been in too many of them. So I need a little more food. But the honest answer is I've never had one.
What?
I've never had one.
Oh, wow.
Have you tried it?
Oh, yeah.
Dude, my thing
never.
with it was like, they tasted like when you get them from Walmart. Like, it tasted like the...
Was White Castle made in Wichita,
Yeah.
but we don't actually have one?
Oh, okay.
Here,
Yeah, and that's why I'm glad
It's
they're not
weird.
here no more.
I don't know.
I made a post about it. I was like, I am glad that they're not
Yeah,
in Kansas.
honestly. Okay, so Salina, what is the burger joint?
Our Cozy buddies.
Cozy's. That
Cozy's.
reminds me a lot of Cozy's. I'll pick that every day. Do you like Cozy's?
Cozy's is awesome. But again, I order 8 of them. And so I would say definitely Cozy over.
You're gonna need to go.
White Castle. You got to come check.
Well,
it
I
out.
say I'm
Salina.
gonna be in Salina sometime soon.
Go to Cozy's.
Dude, hit me up. I got.
Oh, yeah.
There's a couple spots down there, man.
Yeah.
I'll take you around and show you the deal. So,
Yeah.
man. But you know what's so funny? I love that we're using burgers as a funny way of talking about church and religion, which is the most incredible thing to
Yeah.
me. But guess what? As I have changed in my life, yes, I grew up in Texas, so before every football game, we had Whataburger. That's what we did.
Oh, okay.
And first of all, everybody says "what a burger," which is what it spells. It's a water burger where I'm from. I don't even know where water came from on that deal, but
That's what it is.
but you know what? As my palate's changed, listen, I love Whataburger. I love it. Number 2, hey, let's go. I'm in. But I'm gonna tell you that In-N-Out with some of that sauce and some. Hey man, hey now, hey Five Guys, come on now.
Five
You can't
Guys.
sleep on Five Guys.
Come
yeah.
Dude, Culver's.
I've been to
Culver's.
Culver's one time.
Yeah.
My thing is like the burger was good, but it was the cheese curds that made it great.
Yeah.
Oh,
See,
I haven't
I've had
tried
cheese curds
that.
from there. people make me, anybody that has a butter burger makes me nervous on their menu. That is kind of scary, you know.
Sounds like cholesterol.
Yeah. I know. I met with my doctor, and my doctor goes, I have a concern that you might have high cholesterol. I went, really? You think? I don't need to be eating a butter burger, dude. Yeah. But yeah, man, it's so funny. That's so funny. I love that.
I was just thinking about it. I was like, man, yeah, no, I was so disappointed. Like, okay, so it was the last day that Applebee's had their $15 for unlimited like riblets. And,
Oh, okay.
So I was either gonna go. I called my buddy and I was like, okay, do I go Applebee's, Culver's, or no? It was Applebee's, Cane's, or White Castle.
I love Cane's though.
And
Cane's,
so
yeah.
I gave him, and he was like, well, have you had White Castle yet? I was like, no. And he's like, well, you should go try it. I've never tried it. Like, let me know. I was like, all right. I was so mad. I sat in that parking lot and I was like,
I learned, fun fact, I learned that you can get a 32-ounce cup with cane sauce in it.
oh,
What?
Yeah, it's a dude, life changer. If you have not, Cane's is a real deal.
Yeah,
So,
Cane's, yeah.
dude. And you get one of them chicken tenders, you break that bread open, you put that, listen, I literally just felt my blood pressure go up. But literally, you put one of them tenders inside of that roll thing and dip it in some, man, come on.
Ooh.
Come on. Is
That's
there a
good.
Cane's in Wichita? 'Cause that's where I'm going. Is there one here?
No, no. We got like a Slim Chickens, which is,
Yeah, I like Slim.
Yeah.
Slim's all right. There's one of
Yeah.
those in McPherson.
yeah,
It's pretty good.
Slim's Chicken Max is a new hype right now here.
Yeah.
All right.
But chicken.
Hey.
Chicken.
Yeah. What's that place here? Chicken and Pickle, isn't that place?
Chicken and Pickle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
cool.
like,
little spot.
I also love pickleball. You guys play pickleball?
Oh yeah,
I've
I
never
got the
played
paddles.
pickleball.
Let's go,
Dude.
I've never played it.
I got 2 paddles,
didn't know you
balls
had
on the
paddles.
card.
I'm telling you right now, you guys gotta that's
do it.
content. You guys
That-
gotta y'all gotta make that.
Yeah, we're
Dude.
doing a.
We need to do something with chicken and pickle.
We're doing a podcast here soon with our buddy at the golf sim,
Oh, okay.
and
Yeah.
so we got to do one playing pickleball.
Dude, so I played tennis in high school, and my aunt is a tennis pro in Dallas. So like I went to tennis camp and stuff. But again, I played tennis 180 pounds ago, so I'm not built for tennis. But you can talk about pickleball, where I ain't got to go as far.
You can just
Yeah,
stand up
that's
the
a real
line,
deal.
guard the
Come on.
kitchen a
Let's
little
go.
bit.
Come on.
Let's go.
And I listen, I got more surface area that you got to hit around. So I'm here.
Are you on
dog.
Duper?
I'm here.
It's on Duper?
Duper?
I don't know what
it's
that
the
is.
ranking system.
Oh no, I'm not on
Oh,
that.
come on, get it. You
Man.
can go to Duper tournaments and whatnot. I used to be very, very obsessed with the pickleball ground.
That's it. Our Duper, they'll be like, who's number 187,000 ranked big and tall? Who's that? And I'll be like, that's us, baby.
That's
That's
go.
us, baby. That's us, baby.
Man, well, I appreciate you for coming on.
Thank you for having me, man. It's been so much fun.
It was great. I loved it. Hannah,
yeah.
anything?
It's been great. I'm glad you came on. This was probably one of my favorite conversations
Awesome.
that we've had.
It was fun.
Yeah.
So,
I love it.
where can they find you?
So anywhere, Jaron Bell Live, or just my name, just Jaron Bell, JaronBell, and come check me out and come say hi. And always got content, always got music everywhere, and just kind of doing the thing with the thing, man.
Perfect.
The thing with the thing.
It's awesome.
Love
Yeah,
it.
man.
So,
Hand got handles on everything.
Hey.
Hannah Mortimer.
The goat, the goat.
man, make sure you guys follow the podcast here at Commerce Connects. And yeah, see y'all later.
See you.